everybody else needs to just shut up and let him do his thing.
Yes.
And this is the greedy mentality of certain Holland people, Dutch people. They think we spend money as a country in a certain player, so we own the player.
We talk Ajax. My name is Juan. We're here to discuss the second game of the league of Ajax against Emmen, which they just played 5-0. Very good performance. Here to discuss it with me is one of We Talk's panel member, Ajax. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we watched the game together.
Mm-hmm.
Clean sheet, 5 goals. You cannot ask for more, I think.
Yes, it was a great performance. I think it was a bit of a slow start at the beginning. Actually, a good start, like 38 seconds in, first attempt on the ball from Neres. So they were off to a flyer, but actually the margin could have been a lot bigger if you ask me the first half. Mm-hmm. Actually, they had to pull together in the second half, and it was a decent score. So all players had decent performance. I think it's a great game, and they have some confidence for the PAOK game coming Tuesday.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think this is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, what you expect from them, they just delivered. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Ten Hag and his starting 11 choice. Mm-hmm. He changed the team on 2 positions basically.
Yeah.
He put Veldman from the right wing position to the center, and Mazraoui came to play at Veldman's position. Mm-hmm. So that means that Schuurs went to the bench, and the other one was Dolberg. Actually, was not in the first 11, and he put Tadic in the striker position, like what we're used to in the Champions League of last year. We tried that with the Bayern Munich game. It went very well, and that basically remained the how do you say, the tactical approach of Ten Hag.
Yeah.
Now, for this game, did you understand what Ten Hag was doing?
Actually, I did. They need to establish some routine for the match against PAOK again. Mm-hmm. He tried a lot with Dolberg in the friendly games early in the season, but the game on Tuesday is a big one. They need to get a result, and they need to get some routine in the starting 11. Mm-hmm. Going back to the Champions League setup with Tadic in front is the best option for me now, because it's too much of a gamble to put Dolberg in and hope that he gets his form from 2-3 years ago. Actually, with Tadic in the striker position, you have quality that can make the players around him better, and I think you can see that and concur with me today that Tadic played a very decent game at the striker position. Actually, if you ask me, it was the best performance in the striker position up until now this season for the official matches. So I actually think it's a very smart move by Ten Hag to go back to that setup.
Do you think he did this setup because what you're referring to right now is that he did this setup looking at the upcoming game, or do you think that he did it because he knows Emmen is gonna play at the back, all players in front of the goal, and he wants a player like Tadic to move and ask the ball and give the passes, because he's quicker. He moves us quicker than Dolberg, and he's also a better passer and player than Huntelaar as well. Both of them are more strikers. He has a different approach, which is very successful. Do you think he did this for the Emmen game, or do you think he did it for both the Emmen game and the PAOK game?
I think it's actually a little bit deeper than that. I think both what you're saying is right. Actually, if you look at the situation at Ajax at the moment, Ten Hag has, in my opinion, a little bit of a luxury problem. The sides are very well covered. You have Promes, you have Ziyech, you have Tadic normally on the flanks. You have Neres. You have a lot of people that have a lot of quality and actually should all deserve a starting place within the squad. Huntelaar is an old guy. He's 35 years old, but he brings certain quality and poison in the game. Dolberg needs to refine his form from like 3 years ago, and he isn't bringing it at the moment, in my opinion. Yes. So if you place Tadic in the front, you have a position open to play a quality player at the flanks. So I think it's also that reason that when he gives Tadic the spot in the striker position, you have a spot open for Neres. And Neres, you could see today, he's really good chemistry with Tadic and with the players around him, and he brings a lot of depth in the squad. So I think this is maybe the main reason for Ten Hag to do this, but also with the upcoming games, like you told before. Yes.
Now let me be the devil's advocate here for one moment. I remember before the PAOK game last Tuesday, they were interviewing Ten Hag, and they said to him, Dolberg started, of course. He was unlucky, half an hour played, he got a little bit injured, and then he went away. But today, I think he was fit. He could have played because he was also on the bench. They asked him, because of his performance last week against Vitesse, that wasn't very good. We discussed this also with the other panel members. But when being confronted by a journalist, why are you choosing Dolberg again against PAOK because he didn't play that good against Vitesse? Ten Hag's answer was, first of all, he had a very good preseason. Second of all, he's really showing it at the training ground. And I don't, and that's very important, I don't want to switch up the strikers all the time. I want to give him confidence because strikers need confidence. But then he says that on Tuesday and he changes the striker position today. Look, at the end of the day, 5-0, I cannot argue about Tadic's performance today. I think he was one of the best players on the pitch. But it doesn't make sense Ten Hag saying that on Wednesday and then today doing something else. So can you explain that to me?
It's difficult to give you the argumentation from Ten Hag, but the main reason I think he does this is you can give him starting lineup positions. You can bring him 90 minutes, but I think it's also good for him to prove himself in a shorter time frame than this. You can give a starting a position for 90 minutes, 1 match, 2 match, but if you don't deliver, and I'm not talking only about goals. I'm talking about making the team around you play better. And if you look at Tadic today, compared to Huntelaar and to Dolberg, he brings a certain quality that makes the team play better. Yeah. It doesn't even necessarily mean that he needs to score the goals.
Yes.
He gives assists. He makes the passes to put players in positions to score. Yes. This is something Dolberg doesn't do. And that certain quality you need to provide within Ajax. Ajax is a machine that can score from every position, but you need to provide. If you cannot score yourself, it also has to do with the assist to him. He needs to get chances from his teammates, but he also needs to deliver so that the teammates around him can play better. So I actually think Ten Hag will now choose for another player in up front. And if you judge by the performance of today, I think the winning coach is always right.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not arguing here. Yeah. I'm just saying that Ten Hag is trying to make Dolberg work.
Yeah.
But I really think, like what Maxwell said last Tuesday, I'm starting to realize as well that it's going to be a difficult season again for Dolberg.
Yes, it is. It is.
And that's a shame. But I cannot deny the fact that playing with Tadic up front, there's a better link-up play with the forwards, with the midfield. Ajax plays more smoothly. It goes quicker. So I cannot argue about that.
Yeah, and if you actually take into regard that Huntelaar plays for 20 minutes this match, and I know it's FC Emmen. It's not one of the biggest clubs in Holland. It's a low position club. But he scores 2 goals.
True.
In 20 minutes time frame.
Yes.
And that brings a certain quality into the match. You can say anything about Huntelaar. He misses some kind of quality, but he's 35 years old, and every time he gets within the squad, he brings a certain poison. He's hungry for the goal, like he's like 17 and making his debut.
Absolutely.
So these are the players that can bring something to the starting 11. And I think I can only agree with Ten Hag. Letting Dolberg take the bench.
Yes. So let's talk about other players.
Yes.
Can you tell me which of the players stood out for you and which of the players you thought were not that good by your standards?
Yeah. Yes. Let's start with the players that stood out for me. I think it's obvious that I will say Tadic. From the first moment the game was kicked off, he was in there. He was nobody could push him in front of him out of the ball. He was always using his body, making the passes to the side, giving players in the position to score goals.
Yes.
Neres 38 seconds in, great pass, great action from Ajax, great pass from Tadic, hits the pole. I think most definitely Tadic was the one who stood out. So he grabbed his chance in the striker position.
Any other players?
Also Donny van de Beek. played a really good match, if you ask me. He was what we can expect from Domi. He's a tireless midfielder. He always goes box to box. Yeah, he also does his defense part, but he always is in the box, trying to infiltrate, make that goal, assist, giving that poison to the team. You need certain players that pull the level up for the rest of the players. Donny does that. I think Donny. Neres played reasonable. All in all, the whole squad played pretty decent. The one for me that disappointed me actually was Mazraoui. A lot of possession lost by him in the half of Emmen. He left his man uncovered at the end of the first half, I think. Went deep on the left side, nowhere to be seen. Made some stupid fouls in the half of Emmen. Not a defensive foul to push them away, but unnecessary ones. You could see that he had a long break from vacation. He was not match fit yet, I think. That's the reason why Ten Hag substituted him.
The thing with Mazraoui for me is that he has a lot of potential. He is a very good technical player.
Yes.
Tactical, he has to really learn a couple of things still, because also last Tuesday he was playing up the midfield.
Yeah.
And I thought he was running out of position a couple of times. Yes. So, any other player you want to mention?
Yes, actually, Daley Blind disappointed me also a little bit today. Don't get me wrong; he has an average rating. It's enough. But
yes, because you gave,
stood out.
You gave a rating, of course, because all our panel members, they give the rating. And yes, of course, Tadic has a 9, I see, and Blind, you gave a 6.
Yes.
Okay.
So nearly, good enough. I missed a little bit of experience for him that you can expect from Daley Blind. Sometimes he just wasn't in the neighborhood of the man he needs to cover. He's good when he has the ball, plays good passes. He's an intelligent player, but he misses the... how do you say it? The insight to be at the position he needs to be when they lose the ball. And I think he needs to grow in this role. If he starts in this position, he needs to make some improvement the coming matches.
I think Blind with the ball is very good at that position. I think Blind without the ball is really not that good. I think we will have problems if we will play with Blind or continue with Blind at the 6th of holding midfielder position. Especially if we go Champions League, because the thing with Blind is he loses all his duels. He loses all the headers on the midfield, and he never recovers the ball by speeding up or running back. It's always the same pace. I really think it's a big difference. You cannot compare him with Frankie. I understand that, but still we have to find a solution. Now, I have understood from my Mexican friends, which I've talked to about Alvarez, that he can play at the 6th position. Alvarez, of course, just came to Ajax. He still have to manage, the play of Ajax. But I hope maybe he can be the solution, because I don't really believe that Blind is the answer. No. But we'll see how that unfolds. It's a good game. So the player that stood out for you today is Tadic. Yeah, very good. Okay, guys. So please, this will be also our question to you. Let us know who stood out in the game today for you against FC Emmen. Before we wrap up this video, I just want to talk about one thing that happened earlier this week. Of course, in every country you have football panels, TV stations, radio stations, and they all have an opinion, of course, about Ajax, about other teams, football in general, just like we do on the YouTube channel. There is one very important criticaster, if you can say a critic about football, who's going by the name of Johan Derksen. Johan Derksen earlier this week actually talked about a Feyenoord player. I know we're a We Talk Ajax channel, but I couldn't resist of saying something about that, because that really, I think he went too far. I will explain what happened. He said, this is a promising player, 18 years old. He just started to play at the starting 11 of Feyenoord. He was born in the Netherlands. He has a Turkish background, so he has a dual nationality. He chose to go play for Turkey national team. So Johan Derksen didn't like the fact that he chose for a Turkish team, and he started coming with arguments that has nothing to do with football and has to do with political and other reasoning about Turkey. He even said that Turkey, translated from Dutch, is a shitty country. Now, why am I taking the liberty to talk about this? Because I just want to say that Johan Derksen doesn't know how it is to be born in the Netherlands or coming from abroad, having multiple nationalities, and also having different cultures, being brought up by parents that are not Dutch. It's not that if you are born in Holland, then you automatically are one person. Everybody is different. Everybody has different values, different connections, different feelings. He has maybe also different reasons why he chose to play for Turkey. The reason that Johan Derksen is saying is too simple. It only goes about politics. It doesn't say about the personal reasons of the player why he went for Turkey. I understand his disappointment. Very promising player, but just like other Moroccan, Turkish, or other players, if there's a dual nationality involved, they are free to go wherever they want. They're free to choose whatever they want. If you want to know why they're doing it, then you go and do research and check what's going on. But you don't question him, or you start talking about the country for other reasons than football. What do you think about it?
I think you're right, man. I think we actually are spending too much time about Johan Derksen. This guy's first program of the season, he wants to shock the people, get a lot of views.
Yeah, it was the first. It was the first programming of this new season.
Let's be honest. He cannot say anything about the choice of the guy. You know, actually, in my close friends, a lot have dual nationality. Yeah, sometimes when the player, in this case, the player gets in the country there, they will not be seen as a full Turkish person. Mm-hmm. In Holland, they will not be seen as a full Dutch person. You know, mm-hmm. So it's difficult to judge about this. And I think if he has the possibility to play for Turkey or he has the possibility to play for Holland, the only one that can judge about it is himself.
Exactly.
And everybody else needs to just shut up and let him do his thing.
Yes.
And this is the greedy mentality of certain Holland people, you know, Dutch people. They think we spend money as a country in a certain player, so we own the player.
I want to say something about it, by the way, just to round up. This is the final thing. This is a very big false argument that Johan Derksen also used. I don't know who's we provided training facilities, infrastructure to the players to grow up and become a football player, and then they choose to go for Turkey. Let me explain one more thing. This player is trained by different trainers, different football clubs, and once a football player gets transferred, they get all money for having trained this person. Nothing is free. So don't give me that argument. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That's very important.
Yes.
Second of all, this player, also pays taxes. He's working. It's football. It's of course a game, but he earns money. He's in Holland. He pays taxes. He buys stuff here. He's just as Dutch as everybody else. And he has the choice to choose to go play for Turkey. If we have a lot of players playing for national teams, you should be proud.
Exactly.
And you should not be talking like that.
It's like the glass half full or half empty.
Yes.
Why can't the mentality not be like, this is a semi-product of the Dutch football school. Mm-hmm. The Turkish national team wants him to play for them.
Yes.
This is like a big compliment for the Dutch school also, you know, so why be negative?
Yeah. So, you know, in the Dutch, we have this phrase, of course, pannenkoek.
Yes.
This is pancake.
Yes.
For the people that don't know, pancake is, of course, something we eat. But in Holland, if you say to somebody pancake, means he's an idiot. And I think Johan Derksen is a pancake for saying these things.
It's a pancake of the week.
Pancake of the week.
Yes.
Let's go with that. All right, guys. Please check out our bio. Please also subscribe to our channel. And also, please check our Instagram page, check our Twitter, and please get involved and discuss with us what you think of everything going on with Ajax or maybe something else. Thank you so much. Until next time.